Hello again, this is Brian Ray with Vortex Weather, and today I want to kind of give just a big picture overview of the application itself and all of the main modules that the application has. This is not going to go into detail on any one particular module, it's just kind of just giving an overview of what the current capabilities are as a big picture. So to actually look at some of the features, what you can actually do is go into the pricing menu option here at the top in the center. Click on that and it'll basically break down. We have three tiers. We have a free tier and some of the basic capabilities that you get with a free tier. It says ad supported. I haven't actually turned that on. I don't want to bombard you guys with ads, so I'm probably not going to turn it on for the web application, but I may turn it on for the mobile applications, which are iOS and Android. Another tier of access is the basic level, which is $9.99 a month. Basically, it gives you all these features here. And then we have a pro tier that basically has some of the higher end features that are really, really cool and what the price is. And you can also do annual price and you get a bit of a discount off of the, basically a 15% discount if you do an annual subscription on that. But most importantly, if you look below this, you'll see all of the features in each one of the modules. So we have a tropical module that basically does active storm. So any type of active storm that's out there. We have storm advisory archive. Storm last year, that happens to be a category 5 that was in the Western Pacific Ocean, Northwestern Pacific Ocean. You can actually go in and drill down and it'll show you all the joint typhoon warning advisories for that particular storm and say, I want to look at, advisory number 7, and you can actually display that. And again, that's, as you can see here, is when you get into the Storm Advisory Archive, this becomes more of the basic tier, not the free tier. This is the free tier column here on the left. Also, you have your spaghetti plots, hurricane models, which is typically you see a lot of places showing those spaghetti plots. That is available in the basic tier also. And there's a lot of customization on the spaghetti plots, but what's more important on the spaghetti plots is we're actually tracking the performance of each one of the models based on what their forecast says is going to be as far as pressure, location, and wind speed, and comparing it against the actual location, pressure, and wind speed. And we can adjust we can add a model bias to that and adjust the actual model output to show exactly what is going on with that model. And it'll actually rank the models, the top 5 or top 10 hurricane tracking models. You can actually display that information either as a heat map, you can display it as a bar graph, you can display it as a tabular output on a HTML page also, as you can see here. Another feature of the tropical section is the HAFS model. This is one of the more advanced models of the Hurricane Center. And actually, it's for worldwide storms, so not necessarily just the National Hurricane Center. Joint Typhoon Warning Center also has access to this data and uses it for their guidance. But basically, it's per storm basis. So when there's an active storm or investigation area, they'll start spinning up this HAFS model for the actual storm itself. And it's from the current model time run out to 126-hour forecast. And that is, the model runs are 0Z, 06Z, 12Z, and 18Z. And with that, there's some other advanced features. All of them are advanced features in the Pro category here. But we have a 3D hurricane viewer, which we have a video out on, which you can actually see that. And it's pretty cool. So I invite you to go watch that video also. We have historical storm display. So basically, this dates back to 1842. It'll display all of the historical storms worldwide. Obviously, 1842 is mainly in the Atlantic, Gulf of Mexico basin, Caribbean, not in the Western Pacific or Indian Ocean or Southern Hemisphere. We don't go that far back, but we do go back pretty far. I think it's in the mid 40s, actually 1940 something is when we go back for those other basins. And you can actually display those historical tracks based on category, basin, or year range. Say you want to compare the 1990s to the 2000s. You can do that and say, hey, I only want to see category 4 and category 5 storms only. And you can do that also. You can filter it as you see fit. That's these two items here as far as displaying historical storms is in the basic functionality. And then in the advanced functionality, you can create heat maps. So basically, what you're doing here is it shows heat map type of display either by the formation area or by the intensification areas that are per that date range or intensity forecast filter. The next main module is severe weather module. So we can display storm plots. So Storm Prediction Center collects storm reports throughout the U.S. as they're reported in. And what this does is you can actually just pick a day, or you pick the current day, and it'll show you all the events as it relates to tornadoes that happen, wind events that happened, and hail events that happened. And you can actually filter those down to what you really want to, or like say, for example, 2-inch hail and higher only if you wanted to. The cool thing about that feature is once you have that turned on and displaying during a severe weather outbreak, it will continually update the map. So as a new hail event happens, it'll pop up on the map and show you. So that's pretty cool whenever you're doing like a radar animation and you want to see the severe weather as it happens, or as it's reported anyway. Then you can see that as it relates to where the storm is. We also have Severe Weather Archive, and that breaks down into tornado events, hail events, and wind events, similar to the daily storm reports, except this goes back all the way to the 1950s, I believe, and all the way up to the current -1 year. So right now we're in 2026. So 2025 data, once it's compiled by the Storm Prediction Center, that will be out, I think, in May. So we'll have coverage all the way up to 2025. And for the tornadoes, it actually shows the track. When it's available, it'll show that tornado track. So you see the length of the track and things like that. But it also has a lot of other features, like you can see, were there any deaths? Were there any, how much crop damage was there? How much property damage were there in dollars? So you can actually do some significant research based on that. And those are all those statistics as I mentioned them right here. And you can also do heat maps also, which is more the advanced feature. So say I want to see a heat map of all tornadoes that had deaths in it, and it'll kind of create heat maps. And I want to see it, based on, the past 25 years, and you can actually do that. And it'll show all that breakdown of property damage, crop damage, or deaths in the heat map. Next major module is the radar module. So you can display single site radar. So it's a NextRad site. So if, for example, I'm near Melbourne, Florida, there is a NextRad radar close to the Melbourne airport. And I can see the base reflectivity or base velocity, or you can even do composite reflectivity. The sources of this are twofold. One of them is the Iowa State University, and also actually from VortexWeather, we download the actual raw data from the NextRad feed, and we parse that out and create those weather displays, or those weather radar displays. Another cool feature, which is in the advanced section, is you can do a 3D profile and also a cross section of that particular radar. So, for example, the Melbourne radar, depending on what mode of operation it's in, let's say, for example, it goes out to 120 nautical miles. So you can see that entire scene with a 3D view, panning and rotating, zooming in, zooming out, and it shows it vertically also. And I'll have another video out showing all that feature. But you can also do cross sections. So you can pick 2 points on that 3D scene and do a cross section. It'll show you a cross section of that storm. And also it has a storm cell interrogation feature where you can actually draw a rectangle around that particular cell, and then you can isolate it and view all the reflectivity information within there, and also velocity information. So if you want to see a 3D velocity view of the internal structure of that storm, you can use that feature to do so. And that's really a cool feature that I have not seen anywhere else. The next module is a satellite module. Basically, you can display GOES weather satellite, and also this one is off in the Western Pacific Ocean, which covers portions of India all the way down through Australia and the entire Western Pacific, to include China, Japan, Korea, and so forth. So basically, that's a toggle on, toggle off. It'll show you that satellite imagery. The next module is earthquake module. You can actually display earthquakes in the past 24 hours or whatever time range you want. And another feature of this is you also have the heat map ability based on either density of earthquake events, or the magnitude of those earthquake events. Current weather module is the next section. This basically shows like a TV-ish weather view showing icons across the globe of major cities that show the temperature, the cloud cover. It's more of a gee whiz presentation than any technical forecaster that probably want to see. Then there's also the 5-day forecast for your particular current location. This will actually show you what the 5-day forecast is. If you've allowed the application to know your location, it can display you your current 5-day forecast for you. All right, the next section is the model section, and currently we are importing the GFS model all the way out from the 0-hour forecast, current conditions basically, all the way out to 144 hours. And some of the parameters that we're bringing in is wind data, surface analysis as far as mean sea level pressure, pressure centers, thickness, temperature, dew point, surface wind speeds, and so forth. And we're also doing the upper air pieces of that, which shows the geopotential height and also RH, isotax, vorticity for the 500 millibar level. We also have convective stability parameters that we can display on the map, such as CAPE and lifted index, precipitation and clouds. And then there's also raster image overlays that show, typically what you'd see is, when there's that polar vortex scary image, you can do the temperature and show where that really cold air is up in, northern Canada or wherever, so forth, or the really hot temperatures in the Middle East, for example. And again, we'll have more videos out on that. And you can step through with the forecast controls anywhere from the current conditions, 0-hour, all the way out to 144 hours in 3-hour increments. We have an aviation module that basically shows METAR station plots. We're highly customizable. You can turn it on and off each weather element feature you want to view. We have G-airmets and also airmet sigmets. And once you click on those, there are polygons on the map. It shows you the description of it, whether it be a thunderstorm sigmet or something like that. And also it'll plot out PIREPs across the world. And you can see the pilot reports such as low wind shear, moderate to severe turbulence, things like that. And also within the METAR stations, there's the TAF, Terminal Aerodrome Forecast section. So if that METAR site happens to be an airfield also, where there's a TAF associated with it, you can view the TAF. And just other general features, basically have layer management, so you can change the Z order of things you're displaying on the map, and also different map-based tiles, like OpenStreetMaps, Topo Maps, so on and so forth. And map projections, you can do a Mercator map projection, or you can do the spherical global, which is kind of an orthographic type map projection. And then we have severe weather alerts, watches, lightning overlays with the radar. We have the push notifications, which you've probably seen already showing up on this screen as I'm showing these features that pop up and show something's going on. And that's highly customizable also. If you don't want to get notification of something, you can turn it off. There's also color preferences, map settings, and other features that you can do as far as customizing the maps the way you want them. All right, so that is the feature comparison and the price structure. So let me go back over to the tracking map, and that's kind of breaking down what I've currently showed you. So here is showing my current 5-day forecast for my location. I'm in Brevard County in Florida. So this basically shows my 5-day forecast and actually every 3-hour breakdown if I wanted to see that. But really what I'm going to show you is what I just showed you on the previous screen is all located here on the left side. So you have your tropical section, you have your severe weather section, you have your aviation weather section, you have your radar section, you have earthquakes, you have satellite imagery, you have your current weather conditions, and this is just what we've seen here, view your current forecast. Then we have the GFS model section with different elevations and levels. And for example, when I was talking about that polar vortex scary image, this is kind of what I was talking about here. Basically, let me go to the global view, and you can see here, all this really, really cold air temperature up there north of or in and around Hudson Bay. That's just a quick example. But basically, you can see different levels throughout the GFS model run, and also that convective stability stuff for the CAPE and lifted index here, and also the precipitation and cloud cover. This next module is basically customizing your maps however you see fit, whether it be the country outlines, the state outlines, the county borders within the United States, whether you want the tile background or not, or you want a blank map, you want to customize the color of the ocean, the color of the land, whatever you want to do, it's highly customizable in this section here. And this last module is actually the layer management. So for example, if I have radar, then I also have a GFS model data overlaid. I can adjust that Z order so one is not covering the other one if you want to. And also here, this is the master clear. It erases all the layers on the map. Then there's a general settings, which you can customize more settings for the actual application itself. All right, so that's the quick rundown of the core capabilities of VortexWeather. I really appreciate you tuning in and watching this video. So please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos coming out in the near future that go into depth into each one of these sections here on the left-hand side, whether it be severe weather, tropical weather, radar, all that stuff. Some of the cooler features such as the 3D hurricane viewer or the 3D radar viewer, those are really, really cool features. So please stay tuned for those videos to come out. Please like and subscribe, and also, leave comments on the video if you have any questions or anything like that. And thank you for tuning in.